February the 6th, 2015. You're looking at the C.E.R.N logo, and it's an intro to some of their videos and models. Notice the expanding feel in their model. I'm sure everyone's seen the 666 in the middle also. We've noticed that a long time ago. But now in these new video models, they're showing that expanded feel. That's what I've been saying a long time, guys. We'll pull this up. This is on the Franco-Swiss border, just outside of Geneva, Switzerland. 17 underground mile loop. It's a 17-mile loop, the large one. You got Atlas down here in the bottom. That's the largest machine ever built. You've seen this in a lot of our videos. This is what's going to contain the explosion after it's fired around this ring. They're getting it up until to 99.99% of the speed of light. Einstein warned us about atomic energy, and he warned us about getting particles up to the speed of light. We'll talk about that. But guys are simply injected and from a small ball of hydrogen, H2. I've seen that in pictures inside the laboratory. Then the electrons are stripped of the negative charge. They become protons, and the voltage is applied into the particle accelerator here. Now, each ring is different electromagnets. It increases the speed, like increasing the speed of a subway train or an electric train. Same principle, much higher, though. Again, 99.9% of the speed of light. You've got a series of phases this process has. First, once you get that speed up, they're injected into these three rings. What happens when you increase the speed of particles, they increase the mass. You can, if you ever get to speed of light or infinite mass, it will cause the destruction of the universe. Then they start applying voltage. That's a symbology here, and increasing the speed. Again, you're at that point, the magnets apply to control it, because without the magnets there, the particles would escape from that ring. Now it goes into this section. They're starting to mix it up a little and increase the speed. Now notice the size of the particles and the speed. They're expanding inside of this particular ring as it gets faster and faster. They're increasing their size. They're increasing their speed. Very important. Now, at this pressure, they're going to go into another set of rings before they get into the main collider. And you're dealing with, at 99.9% the speed of light, these have been clocked at 11,000 loops per second in the big ring, not the little ring, but in the big 17-mile loop, 11,000 times per second. Then they, inside the big machines like Atlas and the CSI at the top, guys, they can monitor the explosion as they let these cross the pass, and I'll show you that. Now, in 2013, they discovered the Higgs boson, but in 2012, they reached 4 teravolts. Now, they want to reach 14 now, or which would be 7 per side once they launch these and split them into separate tunnels, and you're going to see that, in separate directions into this main tunnel. Again, this thing is huge. You see the yellow line, that was the particle accelerators. Now, as they get this thing going, and they have before, and it's been measured on our magnetopause. This time, I've warned about this, guys. I led the research in showing the sun causes the quakes, and I'm going to show you and prove to you that C.E.R.N is causing shield damage. It can cause a reverse of the magnetopause from the back direction simply by weakening our shield down to almost zero. Let's check this out. Again, they're going to inject into the big ring. And I want to go back here a moment. At that point, they start messing with our magnetopauses, our shields, and they're letting us know this in their video. Notice the particles. Notice the expanding ring. That is because CERN's magnetic field will be 100,000 times more powerful than Earth's. If they reach 7 TeV per loop going in different directions, so that at collision point, red inside of Atlas, they will achieve 14 teravolts. 14, they got 4 last time, and guys, when they did, they almost destroyed this planet. I'm going to show you that before it's over with. As they accelerate, guys, they again enter Atlas, where the explosion happens, and it's trapped. Now, they have different monitoring points on that circle so they can compare notes. But here, is one of the warnings. Not only did Einstein warn us about reaching the speed of light with particles, not photons, which are light particles, which do not have mass, but protons, things like that do have mass. It's critical. But it says, again, C.E.R.N is due to reopen March 25th. Guys, the date now is March 13th. But it's saying Dr. Stephen Hawkins recently warned that the reactivation in March of C.E.R.N's Large Hadron Collider could pose grave damages to our planet. The ultimate reality check, we are warned. He says, he comes straight out and says the God particle, what they call the Higgs boson, was found by C.E.R.N could destroy the universe, leaving time and space collapsed. When you hear about time and space and God particle, guys, what comes to your mind? Do you ever think back about Daniel? Remember what he said about changing time? Said the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it to pieces. It goes on to say, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given unto his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. Does that bring any more meaning to that verse, guys? We're here in this kingdom in this last times. But that's what we're dealing with. It says recent developments prove that the scientific community is no longer able to explain reality without looking at the supernatural. They're looking into dimensional changes. They're looking for several things, and I'm not sure if they were at first aware of all the side effects like on our magnetopods, but once they started getting that information in, they started doing some shutdowns. This is a schedule for this year. I'm going to go through this more in another video, but the weeks are not like a regular calendar. You see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday down the left side. Notice that week actually starts December the 29th, where my arrow is now. So this is just February. They started cranking this thing up in December last year, 2014. Notice here, we're inside the red zone, 1/4/2015. Magnetopause is getting stripped down. Notice up to the 7th, the last day. Just complete compression. Now, they've been running tests since then, but this is when they started in that red zone, what they call controls maintenance. But I recorded this back in December 19th. This was the first super anomaly that I call it, but we had almost a full plasma discharge forward, guys, as they were testing this thing, and almost a complete reversal of our magnetopause. Now, I've got that in part 2, and I've got the images saved back in 2012, March, on the dates when they reached the 4 TeV, that they did completely reverse the magnetopause. They've hit a lot of those images, but they've been saved, and I'm going to show them to you guys. I'm going to put the sound on it. It will be up in a few minutes. Heads up. Be safe.